Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD. This is Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering, and we are bringing the spice this week. It is Cephalid Breakfast. For those unfamiliar, uses Cephalid Illusionist along with either Nomads, en-Kor, or Shuko to generate a repeatable loop where you can continue to target your Cephalid to mill yourself. From there, you load your graveyard up with some flashback spells and go on to win the game. So it does have a combo finish. And Anthony informed me he was on some type of tier 4 brew. As it turns out, it's actually Pox, which has some strategic advantages here in terms of what it's attempting to do. Pox does have the ability to keep creatures off the board, and I'm going to need 2 creatures to stick in order to pull this combo off. It also does need to use the graveyard, and black has a ton of options to prevent that. So we'll see what we can do here. Aether Vial, one of the stronger cards perhaps in this matchup. Vial going to kind of negate all of the land destruction that we might see. Really only need to get a turn, really only need to get a couple of creatures into play. And Sinkhole, and that's likely fine. Looks like a Force of Will there. Cavern. Another Aether Vial. Which may or may not be correct. Tough to say. Pox, not a matchup that I playtest against. And certainly not with Cephalid Breakfast. This is the first time running the deck. Losing Narcomoeba and I believe just stranding Force of Will in hand. Vial ticking up to 1 and 2. And just going to need to get some bodies on board here sooner than later. 3 mana, Liliana. Ticking up. And we've got a Mother of Runes. And she's just going to turn sideways at Lily. See if that can force a Edict, and it does. Is this a creature card? Really need it to be. I guess Narcomoeba would actually be one of the better cards here. Could at least keep Lily in check. And there's a Brainstorm. Narcomoeba would at least keep this game going, but it's just a fetch land. Lily's going to be able to tick up. Ooh, and Karn. So new Karn making a body here. So that's going to be a 3 power creature once Factory animates. So Karn, an interesting addition to Pox here. I believe he replaced the Curse Scrolls with this more expensive Planeswalker. The Mimeoplasm goes into the graveyard. Significant damage coming in. Lily firmly in control here. Attempting to get creatures down, and that is not going to go well versus her. Also going to be able to keep cards out of my hand. Very well. That will do. Pox taking down game number 1 here. What seems to be a pretty terrible matchup. That is unfamiliar territory for me. I generally play decks that do quite well versus Pox. Of course, Pox can, randomly lock people out of games. But having played against it a lot with Storm, I do find it to be a very fun, interesting matchup. There's almost always a path to victory. They can only cut off so many lines, and especially in the builds of Storm running Cabal Ritual, you are able to generate massive amounts of mana, particularly with Past in Flames, and find a way to win. You know, they really need a way to shut off, attack your mana base and your hand and your graveyard. And if they have that, then it can be pretty tough. I'll give them that. But here, really the ability to attack the board, particularly the creatures on the board, going to make Pox a legit threat here to this kind of wacky combo deck. That is a lot of lands. See if this is going to be a keep versus Pox or not. It does shut off some of his potential lines. Cabal Therapy in the blind. No Gataxian Probe. And we see Smallpox, Triple Mox Diamond. That would have been fun to name. Just for straight value. And Sinkhole takes out the land, but this actually stacks up fairly well. Cavern of Souls. Does he jam a Smallpox here? Oh, another Sinkhole off the top rope. Okay. All right. So far, keeping a ton of lands potentially fine. And there's Lily, and that's where this starts to look more suspect. Dread Returns discarded. Brainstorm, the Nomads en-Kor, and a Daze. We are perhaps past the point of caring about Daze. Might want to pick up the land. Kind of half counters the spell. Probably not worthwhile. And Cabal Therapy hitting the Smallpox. Plussing. And really just going to need to assemble the combo here sooner than later. Looks like the Nomad en-Kor is in hand. Drawing Cephalid here would end it. There's the land. Go. Lord of Extinction goes to the graveyard. Cephalid here will end it. We are very much in a situation where and now Cabal Pit on the other side looks to be a problem. He has achieved Threshold. So this is actually a bad scene now. Cabal Pit will break up the combo. It is possible he could misplay and let both of them onto the battlefield at the same time. There's Stoneforge Mystic. Stoneforge comes down. So there's Batterskull or Shuko. Lily's so high she can ultimate. And there's the Shuko. Okay. That is totally a reasonable thing to have happened. And Cephalid would end the game right now. Through all of this. But it's not there. There's Phyrexian Totem. And plussing. Oh, daggers. Might have been worth it to keep that land in hand just to get him to keep making me discard. The ultimate's here. It's going to be bad. Oh, yeah. No, that's too bad. Should have kept the card in hand. Forced him to continue making me discard. I'll just get to feel terrible if I draw the Cephalid. And coming in for quite a lot here. 10 damage. One more draw step. And that is going to do it. Lily of the Last Hope. There's a Narcomoeba so close, one in a blue, but that is the wrong creature. And Pox proving to be a very reasonable foil to the threat that is Cephalid Breakfast. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.